Shalom, shalom, shalom. Peace and blessings, family out there. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to the eternal Father of heaven and earth, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah. All praises due. Well, as y'all can see, setup is a little bit different today. And it's for a good reason. You won't be seeing my face in this video, not for this one, because we're going to be going over something real important and something that I need to show you through. So yeah, you ain't gonna get brother Khalil face today. But all praises, man. I felt like this is needed, and it should be going over. So further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. I know y'all seen my last video. I think it was maybe 2 videos ago, where I talked about tongues and prophecies. I believe that was the name of it. And I know the other one for sure was named Jesus Christ, right? So, we got a lot of, well, I ain't gonna say a lot of questions, but, some wanted some elaboration on that. And we had a combo, and worked through it. But I do want to do some elaborations, y'all, because that video, let's not mistake it. The name Jesus Christ is, well, I did say this in the video too, but let me say it again. It's a watered down, stepped on name. And that's exactly what we're going to get into today. We're going to get into the true name of the Father and Son. Of the Father and Son, right? And when I brought that out, maybe some things I shouldn't have said the way I said, and that's my fault. And, I'll see correction on that. But the whole purpose of 1 Corinthians 14, the tongues of prophecy, was, if you do run into somebody who doesn't have the knowledge and wisdom that you have of the name, you should start with the milk first. You should start with the prophecies, the stuff that's going to give them conviction and turn from their wicked ways. Because if you speaking in tongues is not going to turn them from their wicked ways, right? We all know the ones that do. We all know the name Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, and that's the true name of the Father and Son, and that is us speaking in tongues. But like Paul said, it's better to speak of the prophecies than to speak in tongues. And the reason of that is because the prophecies will convict people. Like the prophecies of the end time. The prophecies of what's going to happen to the wicked. The prophecies of what kind of pains and sufferings they're going to go through. So that is what convicts them, right? That is what convicts them. And that is the whole matter, right? Because after we get deep in the scriptures, And this is just in general. You know, you never know who you might run into. You never know, your family member might be off. You know I've run into it multiple times. And this is the way we should have things, and this is the way we should go about things, you know. Now, I've been doing videos for a minute now, and I've been calling on the name Yahweh Shem Yahushua because I prayed about it. Me personally, I didn't use at first I did use Jesus Christ coming out of the church house and all that. Once I woke up to the truth, you know, I wanted to know the Father and Son's true name. So I basically, you know, I prayed, you know, and I used the Father and Son of God as I prayed. You know, I didn't use any names, and that's fine too, right? You know, if you're seeking out to know the interpretation of the tongue that we speak in, then that's what you do. You pray about it, right? And the Most High is going to lead you where you need to go. So that's what I was trying to, you know, talk about in the last video. You know, because you got a lot of people calling on that name, and you know, the Most High said he'd rather you turn away from your wicked ways than to be judged, right? And you know, it's not, you know, some of you are in your ignorance of the name, right? Which means you don't know, just like I didn't know, right? At first, I thought Jesus Christ was it, but I quickly found out that it wasn't, right? But I had to seek out the truth. See, the scripture says, seek out the kingdom of heaven and everything shall be added unto you. So if you're seeking, all these things will come to pass. But if you're not reading, if you're not studying, if you're not paying attention, if you're still in the church house being deceived and strayed away, then this stuff is not going to make sense to you, right? Because you're not doing the works to follow, right? So you got to seek out the truth, and everything else should be added unto you, and then things are going to start making sense, right? So these are for the ones that seek out the truth. You know, we ain't going on no street corner. We're going to little Jimmy and little Bobby, and you know, trying to, you know, tell them about the name and trying to convert them that way. No, you know, we have better means to use right now. We got the internet, right? We got YouTube. We got all these other apps that we can use to spread the word in light speed, right? Now, you know, Paul and all the rest of the apostles and saints, they had to do it the hard way. They had to walk. They had to send letters, you know, and sometimes that is the better way, right? Because you're not held to a algorithm that puts your message out last because it's got the least views, right? So sometimes that is the best way, right? So that's why I said, if you run into anybody that seeks out the truth, you know, this is how we should approach it, right? Because they don't know Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and we got to interpret it for them. We can't just say it and leave a cliffhanger. And me personally, you know, y'all can do what y'all want, right? But I'm going to go according to what the word says, right? So I'm a you know, feed them the milk first and then the meat, right? And that was the whole purpose of the message. You know, I know some people didn't like the whole Jesus Christ thing, and I just want to send that correction, right? And I want to, you know, elaborate on what was being said, because by all means, Jesus Christ is not the name to pray, to use, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. Because, you know, these are for all the Christians that may be looking at my videos, or anybody that's coming out of the church house, or your average Joe that just, you know, is in the middle ground, right? So Jesus Christ, right? Let's start with that, right? Okay, so why isn't it the name? Well, the letter J was invented in the late 15 to 1600s, right? And I'm going to show y'all this right now, right? So, you look on Google, right? You see it right there. It says, when was the letter J invented? I'm gonna read it to you. It says 1524. Until the year 1524, there was no letter J in the alphabet. The letter J was originally the same letter as I. The father of the letter J is Gian Giorgi Trissino, an Italian author and a grammarian who lived from 1478 to 1550. So you can see right there that the letter J was invented, way after the ancient Paleo-Hebrew text was, written, right? And some of you might say, well, oh, it's just a translation. It's a translation, and I understand that. But the problem with the translation is that they change, for first and foremost, let's put the letter J to the side, right? Okay, let's do that, right? And give me one moment. Let's put the letter J to the side. All right. Let's do that. Okay. Let's put it to the side. So, why is Jesus Christ not in the correct interpretation of the Father? Why is it not the correct name? Well, we're about to find out in just a minute. So, let me see if I can blow this up. All right, here we go. So, Yiddish Hebrew. All right, now we on that topic, right? So, for the ones that don't know what Yiddish Hebrew is the language that the Ashkenazi Jews made up, right? They it came from, and I'm gonna read all this to you, so fact check it. It came from the Europeans. It was never, ever original Paleo-Hebrew that the scriptures was written in, right? So it was implemented by the Ashkenazi Jews, the one who dwell in our land now. So if you read the definition of Yiddish, it means a language used by Jewish, which means Jewish means pertaining to not the exact thing, but like or as. Right, so they're not the true Jews. If you look up that Jewish word in Edom Online, you'll find that out. And it says people in the Central and Eastern Europe before the Holocaust, right? So it's these Jewish people, the Turkey, the Syrians, right? And it says it was originally a German dialect, right? Y'all hear that? A German dialect with words from Hebrew and several modern languages in today's spoken mainly in the U.S., Israel, and Russia. Okay, so we got that down pat, right? So we know what the word Yiddish Hebrew means, right? So Yiddish is a form of language that was created by the Jewish people, right? Well, I guess they brought their language over and basically, they created it. They brought their language and created it. And basically made an offspring of Paleo-Hebrew. So what they did was, and I forget the guy's name that did this, but he basically added vowel sounds to the Hebrew alphabet. Right? He added vowel sounds to the Hebrew alphabet that were not there in the first place. So he added on to the language. And the reason they said this, it was so that Europeans could pronounce the word, the language better, which they had no business of doing, right? They should have just learned it like everybody else learns. I mean, if I go and learn Spanish, what do? I got to learn the language, I can't speak Yiddish to somebody that speaks Spanish, right? I can't speak a offspring Spanish because some things are not going to make sense to them too. Right, you gotta have the exact dialogue, all right, and it can't be something that's been washed out, added onto, etc. Right, so that is strike number 2, right? So, and these are the ones it's calling on this Jesus Christ name, the Latin name, right? You know, so we got two strikes, right? First one is this one, because this is Yiddish, Yiddish Hebrew, right? And then after they establish this, they established the letter J, right? So, you know, once they did that, not only was the Hebrew vowels changed, that's where you get Yahweh from, or Yeshua, right? Because they added these certain vowel sounds to our Paleo Hebrew language, and then Yeshua translates in Latin to Jesus, right? And then, you know, in Spanish it translates to Jesus. So now you have something that was added onto, wasn't really supposed to be there, and now it's changed the dialogue of the language so that it sounds like something completely different, right? So I hope y'all listening, man, because this is exactly why I don't call on the name Jesus anymore. And the ones that truly believe in the scriptures don't call on Jesus Christ, right? So I gave you the other side of the spectrum, you right? The ones that are ignorant in that. What did I say? I said, well, pray for the interpretation, right? And I'm going to give you the interpretation, right? Because, you know, hey, that's the right thing to do, right? But if you still not getting it, pray for the interpretation to the Most High. He's never going to steer you wrong. You know, pray with a pure heart, and He'll lead you right? Because I called on a name before, right? And I came out of that. You know, you got to seek out the kingdom of heaven, man. You can't just sit back and expect things to happen for you. You have to show the works. We are in the stage where we have to show the works. That's why I deliver this word. You know, you don't have to deliver word on YouTube. You don't have to do all that. You could, you know, study to show yourself approved. As for you women, study to show yourself approved. Teach your kids. You know, men, you study yourself to show yourself approved. You know, if you have the opportunity to show somebody this word and they want to know about it, all praises, then let that be, right? So that's the words in Matthew 22:36-40. Love the Most High with all your heart, mind, and soul. Treat others like you want to be treated, right? So that's the works. That's it right there, right? So you know, you can't just expect to understand this and then not do the research, not do the studying. You know, people look at the scriptures. Oh, they say, oh, it's in there, it's in the Bible, it says Jesus, right? But where is what was the original scriptures written in? That's what we got to go back to. See, the Most High, and I escaped me what scripture it is. I'll probably bring it out in the next video, but He said He would turn a pure language into us, right? So what Paul was saying back then is like, hey, the ones that, you know, to speak, because when he went out to teach everybody, right, it was different people that spoke, you know, different nations that spoke different languages, right? And he spoke, of course, he spoke Paleo Hebrew, but he was able to speak in tongues too. So he was able to speak in different languages, courtesy of the Holy Ghost, courtesy of the Father installing that in him, right? So, and it was a blessing, right? So what Paul was saying, you know, I'd rather speak in your language than to speak in 10,000 words that you don't understand. But once He delivers you this truth, once, you know, somebody delivers you this truth, you know, it's up to you to receive it or not. So if you do the research, you seek it out, the kingdom of heaven, like it says, it's all right. Everything's going to be added unto you. So you'll eventually get the name down pat, and you'll know more about the name. Some of you been probably waiting on this video. This is how you know it's all through the Spirit, right? All right, so we broken down Yiddish, right? The definition of that. Now we're going to go to the next thing. All right, so All right, so now we're going to get into the differences between Paleo Hebrew and Yiddish. Right, we're going to get into differences of these two different languages because they're way off. Way two different languages, right? So if you want to pronounce the Most High's name correctly, and I understand if the translation was actually what it was, transferring it from Paleo Hebrew to English to Latin to Spanish to whatever, right? I would understand if it was a correct pronunciation, the correct syllables, vowels, and everything like that, but it's not. So why are we still using that if we know that it's not the correct interpretation, right? So once you know that that's not the right thing, like I said, it's up to you to search out the matter. It's up to you to pray to the Most High. It's up to you to turn away from that name. This is a choice, right? So I'm just giving you the breakdown of why you shouldn't want to use that name, right? Because it's totally different, right? So you gotta translate it without using those extra vowel sounds, without using that letter J, and then you got something, right? But let's go ahead and get into the differences. Okay, so Paleo Hebrew and Yiddish are different in many ways, including their origins, usage, and alphabet, right? So we getting this straight from the horse's mouth. It says Paleo Hebrew in the earliest known form of Hebrew writing, while Yiddish originated in Europe, right? Y'all see that? It ain't nothing that I'm lying about. It says in the ninth century, and then it says Paleo Hebrew was used in the kingdom of Babylonia, exile in 586 before Christ, before Hamashiach. Yiddish originated in the Rhineland, an area of West Germany, and spread to the Central and Eastern Europe. And Paleo Hebrew derived from the Proto-Canaanite or Proto-Semitic alphabet, which was the earliest known alphabet writing. The original Hebrew alphabet was made up of only consonants. It's like if I pronounce that wrong. But the letters were also used to indicate vowels. Yiddish adds some letters. See, Yiddish adds some letters, right, to the Hebrew alphabet to make it easier to express German pronunciation. See, exactly what I told you, right? So what made it right for them to change the language around? What made them right? What made that right for them to add letters, vowel sounds, just because they couldn't pronounce it? That we don't do that in school. When we was in school, shit, we had to learn that hard ass Spanish, right? We ain't add vowel sounds and letters. So why does it make it right for some and on top of that, they took our land, right? So why did it make it right for them to do that? Well, it's all about deception, man. Because I do believe these people know who the true God of Israel is, who the true children of Israel is, and what his name is. Because they had to know it in order to add these vowel sounds to it, because they couldn't understand the name. They couldn't understand how to pronounce it. It wasn't for them to pronounce. So yeah. And it says the usage. Paleo Hebrew was used in kingdoms of Israel and Judah. Yiddish is spoken by the Jews of Ashkenazi origin or descent, right? So Yiddish is spoken by the Ashkenazi Jews, right? And it says vocabulary. Yiddish has many Hebrew words, but it also influenced by High German and some Slovak languages, right? And Yiddish words with more than one syllable are usually stressed on the penultimate syllable. I don't know what that is, but anyways, y'all get the whole gist, right? So they added vowel sounds to our language, and then they added the letters. So why did they do that for us in Spanish then? Because it wasn't the right thing to do. There's no way you can go up to a Spanish person and add something to their language and they will understand what you're saying. They might understand bits and pieces, right? So like I said, I can understand that the translation was correct. Didn't have any vowel sounds, didn't have any extra vowel sounds, didn't have the letter J added to it, right? So it could be the correct pronunciation in English, right? Spanish, right? And whatever other language there is, right? So we got to look at that, and we got to take that into consideration. Like, hey, okay, you got to start questioning stuff, man. Like, this world is deceiving, right? And I don't know if y'all took my last message the wrong way, but hey, the scripture says how to approach people like this, and you gotta have mercy like the Most High has mercy on us. We know that's not the right name, so what do? We feed them milk first and then the meat, right? Just as I'm doing, I'm breaking it down now, so any newcomers that come on here, they'll automatically know, like, hey, okay, this is why they do that, right? And it's facts, it's proven. This is why we go to the ancient Hebrew, Paleo-Hebrew name. We call on that name. And if you think it's okay after you learn this is the way it is, then you deceiving your own self, right? Because this Paleo-Hebrew is an ancient Hebrew that everybody used. Hamashiach used, right? Everybody, right? So that's the ones we should lean on to, because now we know that this incorrect translation, right? So yeah. And before I cut this off, because I'm gonna make another video. It's probably only gonna be, I don't know how long it's gonna be, but it shouldn't be as long as this one. But let me do this real quick. I want to show y'all something, right? And I want y'all to remember this when I bring out what's next, right? All right, so this I'm about to show you is an ancient Paleo-Hebrew, right? Supposedly written on the rock, right? But I want you to pay attention to the how it was written, and how they wrote it, right? Because it's not written in English, it's written in Paleo-Hebrew. Okay, so, and I want y'all to remember this, because in the next video we're gonna go over how to write the Father's name in Paleo-Hebrew and how to pronounce it, and we can pull up some charts and stuff to make it more easier and understandable. But I want y'all to check this out. Pull this up on the internet. You can do the same thing. You gotta search out the matter. Paleo-Hebrew versus Babylonian Hebrew, right? So Paleo-Hebrew, this is what it looks like. You see this right here? You see where it says this name right here? That is the name of the Father, right? Yahweh, right? We're going to go over the vowel sounds and how it sounds and how you break it down to where it should be. This Z letter right here, we're going to go over that. We're going to go over this backwards F. We're going to go over this Y-looking character. And we're going to go over this backwards F. Right? That is the letters consist of to name Yahweh, right? So just so you ain't pulling this out of my buttocks, right? This is what it is. This is what it would be. But they changed this, right? Why did they change it? We gotta start asking those type of questions, right? So I think that concludes today's video. There will be another video coming up shortly. So I pray this was edifying to y'all, especially to the ones that don't know the name. They're still calling on Jesus Christ. Listen, It's a dangerous road to go on. I'd rather be safe than sorry, right? So all of you the ones that saying, oh, it's just a translation. Okay, well, I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'd rather see y'all, go back to the ancient Hebrew and how to pronounce a name than to be, judged for something so simple, right? Because another thing, before I let y'all go, let me try to pull this up real quick. Give me 1 sec. So let me see. All right. And I do want to apologize if I caused any confusion, from the last video. I definitely should have elaborated more. I definitely should have, just went into detail a little bit more than what I did. But give me 1 second. I want to show y'all something, All right, so look what I just pulled up. What does that say up there? It says Jesus Christ. All right, so that's all I typed in. Now I want y'all to see what is the relation with Jesus Christ and what they depict him as, right? And this is another reason why we don't use the name, because it's attached to a pagan god. It's attached to supposedly the picture was made of Caesar Borgia, right? That's in this picture. Look, that's what Jesus Christ looks like. That's what he looks like, right? That's what the Catholic Church puts out and everything, right? Even Putin had, he was like, hey, man, shit, he pulled out some ancient pictures, man, that they've been, trying to, hey, look, the Most High working. And it ain't look, Yahushua didn't look like that. And I can confirm it in the scripture. So, and again, if you have a name and somebody calls it correctly, would you answer them? Right? No. But the Most High is merciful. So in your ignorance, if you didn't know, you didn't know. He'll still answer you in your ignorance, just like he answered me in my ignorance, right? And then I strayed away from it. So that's all I gotta say. Just pray about it. Because this guy right here, that's not the Messiah. That's not the one that the scriptures talks about. Right? It's not the one. And that is the name of that guy. So, I'm not pulling this out of my buttocks, right? So, this is exactly why we don't use that name. Right? I can understand if it was the right translation. I can understand if it related to the right depiction. But it doesn't. So why use it? So I love y'all, family. All praises to you. Honor and glory goes to Yahweh Bashim Mashak Yahushua. All praises due. Allah Shadaya. Malak Yahweh Shah. All praises due. I love y'all. And we're going to get in some more of this Paleo Hebrew. I'll see y'all in the next vid. Peace.